Welcome to August. I can't believe it. Today is actually my first daughter's 5th birthday, and it's crazy to think that it was her that got me into trading. So big anniversary, coming to the trading world. And I totally revamped my website, so you guys can see it here. Let me know your feedback on it. I know I did it last week too. I showed you guys, but also did an amazing blog post about Trade Idea Scanner. They are having their open house August 12th, so check it out. They do it 4 times a year, and it's really affordable. If you've never tried it before, definitely check it out. Amazing software, and many of the top trading rooms and traders use it, retail as well as investors, and it does have the ability to do auto trading as well. So definitely check it out. Leave me some feedback as far as what you think of the site, because I did a lot of hard work to go ahead and revamp it. Also, coming up on Monday, if you were to click here, the trading room, it would take you right over here to the training pit. We are starting August 5th on the training pit, and basics of stocks, like things that are really crucial for absolute beginners. You would just hit subscribe now at the bottom and make sure you pick Jungle Jane. Oops, you can't really see it there because of the box, but you would go ahead and slide down and see Jungle Jane. So that's it for that, and let's go ahead and get into the indexes for the week. Okay, so I had it here because I drew this trend line here for the tops before the market corrected before, right? So we hit the top here in September, October of 2018, and look at that. We are hitting that same trend line, July 25th, and then we pulled back. Now, we were in this channel for, since June 7th, right on up until July 31st. And, many people say sell in May and go away. Well, sure enough, we had that drop in May, but then look, in June, it's like everybody came back and started investing in the market again until we hit that trend line. And now we are pulling back on that. So I would say, really, if we can break below 292.44, the 50 simple moving average, that is going to be a big indication. When we look at it on the weekly chart as well, you can see we do have this big support area that we were in before. So looking for that to hold, the 21 EMA as well on the weekly. It doesn't really hold that true, but really the 50, we tend to go ahead, it hovers around the 50 and then it'll break down, or it breaks up, and we broke up with strength before, tested the 50, bounced up off of it again. So I think if we do break that 292.44, we would be looking for a test down to 280. As far as the time frame, I'm not sure. If we do break down below that, we'll go ahead and look at the QQQ as well. So same scenario, we've got it where we have this trend line, right? So we've been really right here on the weekly. We went up, we broke up above it, and now we're below that trend line. Now it should hold true on the daily as well for us. So you can see we broke up above it, we were testing it up above it, and now we've broken down. We did test the 50 SMA as well on the Qs. So if we do break that, I would say next level to test would be the 200 for support potentially. And then on to the Russell. So the Russell, we have been, the Russell tends to go ahead and break down a bit faster. So Friday we were below the 50 SMA all day. We did test the 200 simple moving average and bounced, but if we do break below that, look at that, all that volume down there. So that could be indicative of bigger selling right at the top, right? We saw big selling back here, it bounced. We had that initial dead cat bounce right here, bigger selling, and then it took a bigger dump, right? So this could be the buy to bounce it up. Okay, we didn't break above this high here. So we had this resistance of 158.23 area, and then we broke back down. So this bigger selling volume is huge right there. Let's look at the SPY for the past 3 days as well. Yep, big selling there, it looks like, and on the QQQs as well. So looking forward, based on the higher than average volume, the curl back from the trend lines as well, looks more like we will have bearish momentum going into August. So it might be easier to find shorts going forward in the month of August, but of course we need to be nimble in the market. So as always, guys, please do your own due diligence. Trading does come with risks. There are no guarantees in your trades, so please remember that, and please trade with proper risk management. So potential long for this week, I have SHOP, and SHOP, I would say a support of 334 and 11 cents, and resistance of 340, excuse me, support of 325.05. Hold on, let me go to the 45 minute here. All right, there we go. So support down here, 325.03, and resistance of 334.11. On to New Market Corp. So New Market Corp, the reason why I like Shopify basically is the, it's the big technology stock for Canada, right? So many ETFs for Canada are putting money into it. Many RSPs are putting money into it up here. And so it has just been following this trend line of the 21 EMA overall. So it came down and touched it on Friday. It did go down after hours. However, it does look like it will be continuing up. The earnings was amazing, and it did hit the 50 SMA on the 45-minute chart, which I really do like to follow for the trend for stocks. You can see back here, it just likes to follow it up, follow it up, follow it up. It does break below sometimes, but then as it holds up above, this was before earnings, so no surprise that there was some volatility there, then shot up above. And if we can hold the 50 SMA, I think that's pretty good on the 45-minute chart and on the daily as well above the 21 EMA. So going on to New Market. So New Market, I would look for support of 446.61 and resistance of 450.25. On the yearly chart, you can see, hey, earnings, amazing day. However, we did have a sell-off. It did test the previous high, and it did close below that high on Friday, but typically we will see 3 days of buying power before we start to see a sell-off. So I would look for that break of that 450, that round number right there, and then potentially up to 452.50. Next one on the potential long list is LOCO. So you can see earnings, great scenario, right? They had a big move up from the low, almost the low of the year at 960 2 days before earnings. And now it's up at 1110 at the close. So I would look for 1090 for support, 1123 for resistance, and we are up above the 50 simple moving average. So I would look potentially for a move up to $12, even up to $12.50, and then $13.35 potentially, if it does have that strong movement behind it. As far as the floats and the short sell volume, you can go ahead and check those all out on my Instagram or my blog. I'm going to be putting the blog video and the information together. So next one on the potential long list is SunPower, SPWR, with support of 1504 and then resistance of 1529. Big gap up on earnings, continued second day, a bit of a sell-off wick on both days. So I would look for really a breakout for 1568 for longer term swing confidence. However, it is up the second day as well, so looking for potential movement up as well for that third day. Next on the potential long list, the last one is MTZ, Mastech. So a gap up again on earnings, ended strong on the day, looking for that continuation for the second and third day. Support at 57.09 and resistance of 58.43. Next, we'll get into our potential short list. So potential short here of AAON. So a support of 46.20 and a resistance of 48.11. We did come down and we tested the 120 simple moving average, and then we came up and closed right at it. So looking for potential downward movement now that we broke the 50 SMA. Next potential short is Apple. We have been, look, we tested a new high, came down, tested another new high, and then pulled back after earnings. 3 days of selling. Apple is a big player in the SPY and the QQQ. So watching that to see if that is going to rebound above the 21 EMA here, or is it going to continue on down to the 50 simple moving average, which would be roughly $7 to the downside. So 203.17 for support to be tested and 204.62 for resistance. And the third stock that we have on the short list today is PHG, or Phillips. But basically, look at this. We've got a very bearish pattern right here. And when we look at the 45-minute chart, you can see it had a bit of a bounce down at this support right here, 46.23, resistance of 46.64. So looking to see if this support is going to break down, and especially if it breaks down below 45.54, we have this gap fill down over there. You can see 44.68. Let me pull it back to the daily. That might be easier to see it for you guys. So we've got, if it goes down to 45.50 area, right there at the 21 EMA, right? Then we have a gap down over here to 44.76. So keep this one on watch. If the volume comes into it and it does break down below, it could potentially go down further. Next potential short, SNN. Again, new high, then we closed down below that new high, almost filled the gap down here to the the close price of 45.44 with a low of 45.50, so 6 cents away from filling the gap down to this close price right here. So looking to see if that's going to continue on down. Next test potentially would be 44.97 and then on down to 44.70. So let's go to the 45-minute chart. I'm not sure why my lines are not here, but let's go ahead and draw them in really quickly. So we've got a resistance. I would put the resistance right here at 46.09 and the support down here of 45.51. So if it does break down below that, we've got the next level to test of 45.19 right here, and then on down to 44.81 if we do break that 45 level. All right, next potential short, Prudential Financial. So look at this massive sell-off here. Had earnings, first day of earnings, red day, second day of earnings. You can see big red day. Now it might have found support here. Again, not sure why the levels are not there, but it's okay. We can go ahead and draw them in. So we've got 88.33, and I would go ahead and put that resistance right up there. Actually, we'll go ahead and drop it closer down here of 89.36 on the 45-minute chart. And back on the yearly, you can see had this massive gap down on earnings. First day, second day, big selling volume. So looking to see if it's going to continue on down further from there. And we do have, it looks like potential support next level down, 86.89. So keeping this one on watch as well. And we also have UVH, which I have as a potential long, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no, this one has a potential long to it, UVH. Again, earnings, first, second, third day. It does look like if it breaks up above this 50-day simple moving average, we could go ahead and run up further, and it could be breaking the trend right here, right? So if we draw a quick trend line, let's go ahead and do the trend lines. So we've got this here. If we do go ahead and break above, right, the trend line right here, which might be a test right up to 27.73, I would look for maybe a potential $1.30 move here on the long side as a swing potential move. And it could, if it breaks up above that with volume, then we're probably going to have a likely good upward trend over the next couple 3 months. However, you guys know there's no guarantees. And GHL, same scenario. So gap down on earnings, had a nice green day on Friday when the rest of the market was tanking. So it could have that potential to be an upward trend stock as well. All right, guys, as always, carpe profit, seize those profits one trade at a time. And I would love to see you in the training pit. All right, see you again. Have a great week.